Hello. If I look beat, it's because I am. It is 20 after 10 at night after a 2-day show weekend. This weekend I was at the Homespun Harvest Festival in Franklin, PA. It was 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. both days. Saturday was pretty good, better than I expected. And today I had 5 sales, which was my goal based on yesterday's sales, but not great. We got rained out was the big thing. But this was my first time doing this market. The vendor fee was $10 per day, so $20 for the weekend. And I just wanted to go over basically what I sold, how well I did. So on the first day, I sold a messy bun hat for $20, a triceratops for $15, a Not Your Granny's cowl for $20, a kid's hat for $15, another Not Your Granny cowl for $20, 2 pom-pom keychains for $5, another Not Your Granny cowl and messy bun hat for, oh, I didn't put that in there right. It would be for $40. I put it down for $20. A newborn hat and a pom-pom for $17. 2 turtles, Tank the Turtles, for $20. And then 2 more turtles for $20. 2 more turtles for $20. 1 more turtle for $10. My big sea turtle for $30. A gray leggy froggy for $15. A small axolotl and a mushroom, like a chunky mushy boy, for $27. Another small axolotl for $15. 2 turtles for $20. And then that was the end of our day 1, where we did $304, which should actually be $324 since I wrote down the number wrong. Then our second day, we sold a chicken for $18, a ghost for $12, another chicken for $18, a Not Your Granny cowl for $20, a pom-pom keychain for $2. So $70 on day 2. And when you add them together, it ends up being $394. And then minus my vendor fee, and I ended up spending $20 in food between both days. I count that as one of my expenses. So $394 minus those $40 was $354. Of course, I did some spending this time around, so I ended up getting a cute, like, I don't know, repurposed blue jean jacket. It was, she buys them salvaged and whatnot, and then revamps them, and it was super cute, and it fit me, and she was really great. She gave me a huge discount, actually, because her canopy, it's a hand-me-down. She said it's like 15 years old or something like that. But this is one of the first times she's ever used it. So it didn't occur to her that there was anything wrong with it. And she didn't have sides or anything, but her canopy top doesn't look like it's the original top for the frame. It doesn't fit, right? So when you look at them from the tippy top to the corners, it's supposed to be like a straight line. It's supposed to be pulled pretty taut. Otherwise, if you have it at the top and it swoops down to the corners, then that little swoop there collects water, and water is weight. Too much weight in one spot in your canopy top is going to crumple your canopy frame, or it's going to tear your top and everything's going to get soaked, everything's going to be ruined. Like, it just was a whole thing. So we were talking about good canopies and stuff to use at vendor events. Like, I have a Euramax, and it has the Velcro up all 4 sides. My front wall has a window and a door on it. All four sides are individual, but they can be put up one side on any side, whichever. But I can also put all 4 up. When I'm not using them, I Velcro them up and I roll them and I tuck them behind the frame. So that way at the end of the day, I can just pull them down, and then all 4 corners zipper together, and you can Velcro them to each leg as well for extra support. So it makes it really nice just to keep dry and not have to worry about anything. And I think when I looked it up, it's like 78 pounds for the canopy coming in the carrying case and whatnot. And the carrying case has a metal support that goes under the bottom of the legs, and it has 2 wheels so that you can put it on a diagonal or a slant or whatever, and you can pull it on the wheels. There's handles. It's a really heavy duty carrying case, and I can put my Euramax canopy up by myself, not an issue. And I don't necessarily think myself as a strong person. It's more leverage than anything else. So I don't know, I get it up pretty easy. But if you're ever interested in how I get my tent up or down by myself, maybe go through some of my older videos. They're not super old, really. I haven't been here that long. But some of my videos previously of my vendor setup. The one that's actually coming up soon has my setup and my tear down, I believe. It's for the second Waterfire Festival that I did. So either way, talking about really good advice and trying to help her skip ahead of some early vendor struggles that most of us, earn our stripes and we work our way through and we persevere and we live and learn and we get through it or we quit. My thing is I've seen too many vendors start doing this and they struggle and they don't ask for help and other people don't offer as help and they just quit doing it. They quit doing the shows, or they won't do outside shows, and it's simply because they needed more help than they had and no one was stepping up to offer it. Like a simple question of, is there a better canopy than the one I have? That was the question for today. And I'm not going to sit here and keep it a secret. Like I don't want somebody to fail. And I almost feel like by not offering the knowledge that you do know on a topic that would save somebody from going through struggle, it almost seems like you somehow get pleasure from their suffering. And I don't think that's right. I don't know. I think that we all should be helping each other. This is very much a community. I know that since I started doing craft shows, more so in the last 5 years, we've really built a bit of a vendor family. We all go to different shows. We do a lot of shows together and we're always helping each other. We're always stepping out to help newbies who don't know what they're doing, or even just a simple trick of how to put up your canopy so that you don't need 5 people there to help you set up, because they're not making any money and they stop doing it because they're paying people to help them and they don't need to. It's nice to have somebody there to talk to, but sorry, my cat's in the background. But if you think that it's a necessity to have a helper to come set up and tear down and whatnot, unless you have a physical injury that leaves you incapable of raising your arms or lifting any weight, or there's a handful of disabilities, unless you have one, there's no need to absolutely have a helper. You don't have to pay somebody to help you, as long as you learn a few tips and tricks, mostly to do with leverage. And a lot of that circles around my frame personally. I've shown a lot of people just different ways to open it up by yourself and different ways to close it by yourself. But sorry for the tangent. I did not do a breakdown of how many of each thing that I sold. So let me kind of go through that. For messy bun hats, it was 1, 2, and that's it. 2 messy bun hats. Triceratops, 1. Just 1. My Not Your Granny cowls, I sold 1, 2, 3, 4. All one of my better sellers this weekend. One kid's hat, a newborn hat. I sold a few, so most of us will get the faux fur pom-poms with the elastic loop coming out of them for our hats. I got so many of them last year that I just started carrying a bin because I promote them as interchangeable, removable and interchangeable. And I carry bins so that people can swap them out if they want to, or buy extras if they want to give their hat a different look. So recently somebody had asked if they were keychains, and I was like, they're not, but I could easily make them one because I got a bag of the metal beaded, strings that have the clasp on the end and you can interlock it. And I just put it through the elastic loop and there's a $2 keychain. It works. I think I spent 45 cents on the pom-poms because I buy them in bulk. So a few of those. I have 6 turtles left and I brought 15. So I sold 9 of Tank the Turtles. Definitely my biggest seller this weekend. And then just a couple of the small axolotls. I only had 1 chunky mushy boy. I sold 2 of the chickens. I only started making the ghost today while I was there, so 1 out of 3. And that's it. That's it. I need to do a proper inventory of my hats and scarves and stuff like that. Because my next market is Apple Fest in Franklin, PA. It's their 40th anniversary. And they bring 90,000 people in over the weekend. So, I have some major inventory prepping to do. I've started making pumpkins. I have 2 weeks to make as many pumpkins, as many neutral colored messy bun hats and beanies and little stuffies as I can. So we're going to aim for we'll start with 10 pumpkins and then I'll move to something else and go from there until I run out of time, because there's never enough time this time of year. I really amped up the number of shows that I was choosing to do this year. In previous years, I was once you got to October, I was doing I don't know, so I guess starting in September. In September, I started doing probably 2 shows a month. October was at 3 out of the 4 weekends. I would do a show. But this year, I've tried to do at least 1 show per month from January all the way until August, maybe September. And we are now in the 3rd weekend of September. Yes. Maybe. I don't know. But I'm on 5 weeks in a row of shows. Every weekend for 5 weeks I've done shows. And I'm trying to figure out which shows are worth doing again next year. Figure if I just do them all. feel like the furnace just kicked on. I feel like if I just do them all, then I can figure out pretty easy whether they're decent shows for me this year, and next year I can chop or cut out all those shows that just weren't great and try something new and see where we're at. I keep track of all my sales I have for the last year or two, and you know, all I can hope is that I'll find shows that are really good. My threshold for an okay show is like $300 or $300 to $400 depending on where it's at, which I know is not amazing. That's why I'm saying it's an okay show. Like, it's not terrible, and that's like $300 to $400 in profit, I should say. So like even if the vendor booth fee is like $250, like I still need to make another $300 to $400 on top of it. So that's where I'm at with that. This one was okay. You know, we got rained out today, so that really diminished how many people were going to be there today. It's also a Sunday, which is never as good as a Saturday. But I know that this same weekend was a show, I think in Geneva, Ohio. I'm not sure what my cat is looking at me for. He probably thinks I'm super strange to be talking to my phone like this. He's so funny. There's another really popular show happening in Ohio. It's like the Geneva Grape Jamboree or something like that. And I have had so many of these vendor friends that I have reaching out and like, Kat, you have to do this. It was nuts this weekend. Like, best show ever. This was amazing. I've seen pictures and videos throughout the weekend where like there was basically a wall of people to look through at all different parts of the day. So I want to give that a try next year. But that means not going to this one next year if they're on the same date. So I have choices to be made, because even if I would have done that show today and I would have done so much better, then like I wouldn't have the inventory to do my biggest show of the year so far in 2 weeks. So it's kind of hit or miss. Like I need to keep up with my inventory prep throughout the springtime. I kind of go back and forth. Like come springtime, I focus more on creating patterns, publishing patterns, and I get them out because that's when I have the time to do it. I also love The Sims, and I seem to play more of The Sims in like the summertime or early spring or late spring. And then I have 2 little boys, and I work 3 10-hour days a week, and I try to volunteer with my kids' PTO, and I try to host craft shows on occasion to help raise money for things, and it's hard. It's hard to do it all. That's all that it is. I want to do all the fun things. And not work. I wish that I could get paid to do all the things that I really enjoyed to do. Like I do home health care, and I enjoy the lady that I take care of so much. She's really funny. And realistically, I've been with her for a little more than a year, and she's great, and there are not many clients that you get in home health that are really a joy to work for. A lot of them are miserable people because they don't want help, and they realize that their lives are different than they want it to be, and they take their anger and misery at their bodies out on the people who are there for them. And that just happens to be whoever their caregivers are. You know, if it's their family, usually they're really mean to their family, you know, because they know that no matter what, their family's going to be there. And if it's their caregiver, it's kind of the same thing, because even if you're mean to one, usually you're in an agency and another one will come through the door. And it's realistically, it's a form of acting out, and you got to try to be as understanding as you can, because all of our bodies are going to fail someday. And we kind of just have to prepare for it as much as we can and try to give ourselves grace. That's the best way to think about it, I guess. Like, I can only imagine, like, for me, I love crocheting. I'm super passionate about crocheting. I do it almost every day, all year long, and I have since I was pretty much 11, except for a period of time where an old boyfriend that I had made fun of me for doing it and made me feel bad for doing the thing that I enjoyed. So I didn't do it as much with him. But now I've really come to a point in my life where I enjoy who I am as a person, and I give myself the things that make me happy, and I don't care what anybody has to say about it. But I know that at some point in my life, more than likely, I'll end up with arthritis, and I will probably not be able to crochet. At the very least, not as much as I can now, but like at all. I've heard those horror stories from so many people who come in and see my booth, and it makes me sad. It makes me sad for them, because it's hard to imagine having your passion stolen from you, because your body just wants to suck and take it away. And that's essentially how these people feel that need help and need taken care of. Their independence is gone. They feel that their self-worth is gone. They feel that their dignity is gone. And that's really what our number one goal is supposed to be, is maintaining independence and dignity to as much of an extent as we can. So this family particularly, I really enjoy. They're great. But in home health, in geriatric care, our clients or our patients or our residents or whatever you wish to call them, they don't live forever. They usually don't even live for a long time once you meet them. And we deal with a lot of loss because of it. So I have been with this woman for a year, and I have enjoyed just about every minute. But I know that it's not going to last forever, and when she does eventually pass, I will be passed on to the next elderly person in line needing help, and chances are they're going to be mean to me, because that's just hazards of the job. So if only I could get paid to do the fun things, the things that are fun all the time, that would be awesome. But sorry for being chatty. I'm super tired. My eyes burn. The venue I was at today had a fire burning outside, and the smoke was like a direct stream right into my eyeballs all day. So they hurt so bad. And it is now 10:43. And I need to go to bed. I have to go to work tomorrow, and my alarms start going off at like 5:30 in the morning. I need a nap for tomorrow already. But thanks for watching. Make all of your Tank the Turtles. Invest in a really great pop-up canopy. Also find some really awesome and easy weights. Your weight selection does not have to be ugly. It does not have to be a trip hazard. It can be streamlined. It can be hidden. It can work. But the more professional and put together your display looks, the better sales that you have. That's just the truth. your products do a lot to show for themselves, but where they are sold from speaks pretty loudly too. So remember to smile and do your best and try to have fun. I mean, if you're just sitting in a corner the whole time and not talking and not smiling at people, you're kind of scaring customers away. And you don't want to do that, because if you scare them away, they're not going to buy anything. So, on that note, good night. Bye.